Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make an earring today to match this earring here that I've already got made. And I'm going to be using some of the beads from the most recent Adornable Elements Beads of the Month Club subscription. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to go back and watch it, where I go into a little bit more detail about how the subscription works and all. But they have 6 different clubs that you can pick from. They have a Fire Polish Beads of the Month Club, a Gemstones Beads of the Month Club, a Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month Club, a 2-Hole Beads of the Month Club, a Miyuki 11-0 Seed Beads of the Month Club, and a Miyuki Delica 11-0 Beads of the Month Club, which is the one I got this time. They also have a Rotating Beads of the Month Club, where if you're like me and you want all the clubs, they will rotate you through each of the 6 clubs 1 month at a time. And this month, like I said, I got the Delicas. And I have a coupon code. It's Teresa10. And I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to their website so you can check it out if you want to. If you use my code and you sign up for the Rotating Beads of the Month Club, they will put you on the same rotation that I'm on. So you'll get the same collection of beads that I do every month. So today I'm going to be using the lined ruby AB beads that came in the subscription that I got this month, and the silver lined Duracoat yellow gold, and the galvanized blush. And this is all I have left of the galvanized blush because this was my favorite color out of the whole box and I've used them all up. I've counted and I'm pretty sure I have enough to do this other earring though. So hopefully I will. In here I've got an ear wire, a wire guardian, a drop like that I'm going to put on the bottom here. And I've got one little tiny 15-0 seed bead. It's a gunmetal. I don't really have any colors of seed 15-0 seed beads. I have all the metals like silver, gold, gunmetal, copper, bronze, and like that. But I don't really have any actual colors. So I didn't have any ruby 15-0 seed beads. I have a few that I've gotten in past subscription boxes, but not very many. But I thought the gunmetal would probably blend well enough. Here you can't really see much of it. It's just at the very bottom of this little drop. I'm using my 6-pound fire line in smoke, and I'm about out. I'm going to have to get some more of this. I just can't seem to keep fire line. And I've got my size 11 tulip beading needle here. And I'm going to be using my chain nose pliers to put my earring finding on at the end when I get done. I think that's everything. I'll put links in the description box below to everything I can find links for. So hold on, let me get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads poured out here. But before I get started, I just wanted to explain to you all why I'm going to be somewhat distracted during the making of this earring. I was not going to talk about this yet because it's so new and tragic and sad. But I know by the time I post this video, most of you will have heard that Wendy Whitman of Wendy Whitman Designs has passed away. And I got up this morning and I opened up my phone and there it was. And I thought, this cannot be true. This is not possible. But apparently it is. Evidently there was a motorcycle accident and she has passed away. And I just don't know what to say. I did not know her personally. I had never communicated with her on YouTube or anything. I had hoped to at some point in the future, but I never had. I watched her videos since her very first video, and I have asked questions before on her videos, like maybe what brand of pliers she prefers and that kind of thing. And she always answered me, but I didn't really know her other than through her videos. But it was clear that she was such a kind and sweet person and that her love for Jesus was true and genuine. And she was much too young to leave this world. And I just can't imagine what her husband and her family are going through. I know that her husband recently lost his brother. So to think that he's going through this on top of that, and then her children and her parents, I just can't imagine what they're going through. And I just wanted to say that my thoughts and prayers are with them. And I'm going to try to not be distracted while I do this earring, but I know that I will be. And I just wanted to explain to you all why that is. So hold on, let me get myself together a little bit and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my needle threaded here and I've got a stop bead and I'm just leaving enough of a tail to sew in. And it depends on how, this is going to be a brick stitch, diamond shaped brick stitch earring. And it just depends on how big you make your diamond as to how much thread it takes. This particular one will take probably about 3 feet of thread. But if you make it bigger, obviously it'll take more. If you make it smaller, it'll take less. And you can download brick stitch graph paper and color in and make all kinds of designs other than just this. This is a very, very simple design here. But you can download the brick stitch graph paper from just lots of different places and make whatever design you want to. But I'm just going to go buy this one to make the other one I'm making here. And I mean, this is such a simple design. I don't really, probably wouldn't even really need to even look at this. But instead of starting at one end here, because like up here I have two 11-0s, it's really hard to hold on to two 11-0 delicate seed beads. So I'm going to start at about the, here where I have 5 beads across. I'm going to start, and then I'm going to go down here and sew on my wire guard, and then I'm going to come back up here and sew the rest of the earring, because it's just easier to hold on to 5 beads than it is 2. And in this we're going to be decreasing and increasing brick stitch, and it's not hard at all to do, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to start here where I've got 5, and it doesn't really matter about the pattern. This will work with whatever pattern you're using. But for my 5 here, I've got one of my ruby, and then the next is one of my blush. So I'm going to put those 2 on here, and I'm going to zoom in really close because these are really tiny. And I'm just going to ladder stitch these 2 beads together. Got this ruby one and this blush one, and I'm going to go up the bottom of this first one, which is my ruby one. And I'm just going to brick stitch those together. And that sets that blush one next to the ruby one. And now I'm going to go back down my blush. And then my next bead in line here is the gold one. I'm going to pick up my gold, ladder stitch it onto the blush one. I'm going to go back up the gold. And I'm holding on to these tight so that they don't come loose from each other, but they're not sewn together very well yet at all. I'm going to come back through and reinforce them. And then the next color is my, let's see, blush. I'm going to ladder stitch it on. I'm coming out the top of this gold one. I'm going to go into the bottom. That sets my ruby one, my blush one next to my gold one. I'm going to go back down my blush one, and then my last bead in this line of 5 is my ruby one. Coming out the bottom, I'm going to go on the top, and I'm going to back up the bottom of this ruby one that I just put on. And now I'm going to go back and forth through all of these to straighten them up some. So I'm coming out the top of this ruby. I'm going to go back down this blush one, go back up this gold one, down this blush one, and up this ruby one. So now I'm going to work my way down to the tip here where my wire guarding is, and then I'm going to put my wire guarding on. So when we start brick stitch, now that first row was ladder stitch. This is going to be brick stitch, and when we start brick stitch, we always start with 2 beads. Except when I'm sewing around something, I do it different than most people and just do 1 bead. But when I'm doing something like this, I do 2. So I'm going to pick up a ruby and a blush, which are my next 2 beads in my little pattern I have here. And I'm going to go, I can get a hold of this. I'm going to go not on this first thread bridge, but I'm going to go on to this second thread bridge here. I'll bring my thread through. And now I'm going to arrange my beads so that their holes are setting up like I need them to be. And then I'm going to go up this ruby, or this blush one here. I'm going to pull my thread through. That's going to set my beads there. Now I need to straighten these up because they're not straight. So I need to come out the top of this blush one. I'm going to go into the top of this ruby one. And then I'm going to go into this blush one there on the diagonal. Then I'm going to go up my gold one and back through that blush one. And my stop beads are going to try to get in the way. Like stop beads almost always do. And I'm going to pull that through. And that straightens up those 2 beads there that I just put on. Now my next bead in line is another blush. So I'm going to go under the next thread bridge. Pull my thread through. Get my bead, make sure my bead's setting with its hole up there like I need it to be. And then go back up the bead that I just put on. Pull my thread through. Now I just have one more to put on here. I need to put on a ruby one. And like I have told y'all before, when I do brick stitch, when you come back up, when you put your bead on and you come back up through it, it's really easy to accidentally go back under that thread bridge. And when you do, your bead's going to fall off. And that happens to me all the time. And one of the ways I've found that helps that, I'm going to do here. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to put my ruby on. I'm going to go under the next thread bridge. Pull my thread through. Make sure my bead's setting with its hole facing up like I need it to be. And then I'm going to come around here. Instead of coming up under here like I have been, I'm going to come around here to the back and come up the bead this way. And that usually is easier to get a better angle on it. Plus there's less likelihood that your bead's going to fall off, that you're going to come back up under that thread bridge and your bead's going to fall off. So that's what I've got now. Now I need to do my next row, which is going to be, I need to pick up 2 because I'm starting out. So it's going to be a ruby and a blush. I'm not going to go under the first thread bridge. I'm going to go under the second one. Pull my thread through. Now I'm going to come around here to the back and come up up this blush bead and pull my thread through, and my bead's going to travel like that up my thread there, but when I pull it down, it's going to pull down in like it's supposed to there, down against the rest of the beads. Now I need to straighten this up, so I'm going to go down my ruby bead, back into my blush bead on the diagonal there. Now I'm going to come over here to this blush bead next to the one I'm coming out of. And go up it and into the, you don't have to do it all at once. If you can't get up that second blush bead there, you can just do it one at a time. Now my next bead in line is going to be a ruby, so I'm going to pick up a ruby, go under my next thread bridge, pull my thread through. Now I'm going to come around here to the back and go back up the bottom of that bead I just put on, pull my thread through. So now I'm going to flip it around here because I'm going to do my next row. My next row is going to be 2 ruby, and that's all it's going to be. I'll pick up 2 ruby. I'm not going to go in the first thread bridge, I'm going to go into the second one. I'm going to pull my thread through. I'm going to come around here to the back. I'm going to go up that second bead. Now I'm going to go down my first ruby bead that I put on. Back down that blush bead on the diagonal there to straighten these two up. Now I'm going to go up this ruby bead next to the blush one that I just put on, that I just came through. If I can get my needle in there. And then I'm going to come up this ruby bead here. Now, hold on, let me get my wire guardian. I'm going to put it on. Okay, I've got my wire guardian here. And this is just incredibly simple. I'm just going to directly sew it on here. I'm going to go up one channel on my wire guardian. Come down the other channel of my wire guardian. And I'm coming out this ruby bead here on the right. I'm going to go into the ruby bead here on the left. I'll squish it together a little bit. And now I'm just going to go up this ruby bead on the right, back up my wire guardian, go back down my wire guardian, the other channel of my wire guardian, back into my ruby bead here on the left. And I'm just going to do it a couple of times. I always do it 3 times when I'm doing a bracelet or a necklace or something, because that's the place that gets the most stress on a bracelet or a necklace, but you don't really get a lot of stress on an earring, so I only do it a couple of times. So now I'm going to sew up these ruby beads on the side here. I'm just going to sew up through all 3 of them on the diagonal there, so that I can get down here and start making the rest of my earring. Now I'm going to stop and sew in this tail and get it out of the way, so it'll be out of my way and you all won't be seeing it and maybe be confused about what I'm doing. So hold on. Okay, I've got rid of my stop bead now. Now we're going to increase brick stitch. This is really easy. I'm going to pick up a ruby and a blush, which are my next 2 beads, my first 2 beads in this row. Now instead of going under the second thread bridge, I'm going to go under the first thread bridge. Pull my thread through, and it got knotted. But it wasn't a knot, so I got it out. Okay, now I'm going to come around here to the back because this just is easier for me. It's still possible that you'll get under that thread bridge and your beads will fall off, but it's a whole lot less likely than if you come up from the front. And it has saved me a whole lot of time doing it this way because I spend a whole lot of time picking up beads that fall off my needle. So I'm going to pull those two down, and that puts my ruby bead to the outside here, which is what I want to do when I increase. And when you increase, you don't have to go back through and straighten up your beads. So now my next bead in line is gold. So now I'm just going to do like I've been doing. I'm going to go under the next thread bridge. Pull my thread through. Come around to the back and go up this bead I just put on, this gold bead. And that bead's going to travel, but when you pull it down, it'll pull down like it's supposed to there. Now my next bead is another gold. Go under the next thread bridge. Pull my thread through. I'm going to go around to the back here. Go up the bead I just put on, the bottom of the bead I just put on. Pull my thread through and pull my bead down. Now my next bead is a blush. I'll go under this last thread bridge. Go around to the back, go up the bottom of this bead, pull my thread through, pull my bead down. Now I've got to put one more bead on here. I need a ruby. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to go under the same thread bridge I just went under. Pull my thread through. Come around to the back here and go up this last ruby bead. Pull it down. Now I'm going to increase again. And when I increase again, I want to pull this last bead tight, because when you go, I'm going to go under this very first thread bridge again, and when you do that, it can come loose because there's only one little piece of thread holding this last bead in. So I'm going to pick up a ruby and a blush. I'm going to go under this, I'm going to hold it to keep it from coming loose too, and I'm going to go under this first thread bridge, pull my thread through, go around here to the back, go up this blush bead, pull my beads down. Now my next bead is, it's hard to see these beads, they're all so shiny. Okay, I've got a gold. Go under the next thread bridge. Go to the back. Go up the gold bead. Pull my bead down. Now my next bead is going to be a ruby. Go under my next thread bridge. Go around to the back. Come up the ruby bead I just put on. Pull my bead down. My next bead's a gold. Pick up a gold. Go under my next thread bridge. Go around to the back. Go up the bottom of that bead I just put on. pull my thread through, pull my bead down. The next bead is a blush. I go under the last thread bridge, go around to the back, go up the bottom of the bead I just put on. Now my last bead's a ruby, and I don't have another thread bridge. Well, I only need one ruby. I don't have another thread bridge to go under, so I'm going to go under this same thread bridge. And I'm going to flip it around here, and I'm going to go up this last ruby bead that I just put on. Now I'm going to increase again, so I need to do a ruby and a blush. Make sure this first stitch is nice and tight, and then I'm going to hold my beads and I'm going to go under this first thread bridge, pull my thread through, straighten up my beads, go around to the back here and go up this blush bead. My beads are traveling a lot here, but they're going to come down and land in place like they're supposed to. Now my next bead, pull that tight. Now my next bead is a gold. I'll pick up a gold, go under the next thread bridge, go around to the back, go up the bottom of this bead I just put on, pull it down there. Now I'm going to keep doing that until I get to till I get done with my widest part, my middle, my center here, my widest line of beads, and then I'll come back and I'll do another decrease row with you all. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got to the widest part of my earring. I've got it done now. So now I'm going to start decreasing. So I need a ruby and a blush. And I'm going to go under the second thread bridge this time. I'll pull my thread through. I'll go around here to the back and go up this blush bead. Pull my thread through. Now since I'm decreasing, I've got to straighten these up. So I'm going to go down this ruby bead, down the blush bead on the diagonal here, and get my needle in there. Okay, you don't have to do it all at once, which it doesn't look like I can, so I'm going to do it one at a time. Now I'm going to go down this blush one on the diagonal. Now I'm going to go up this gold one next to the blush one, and back up the blush one there that I just put on. And that's going to straighten those two beads up. Now I need a gold. So I'm going to go into the next, under the next thread bridge. I'm going to go up the back of this. I'm going to go around the back here and go up bottom of this gold bead. Now my next bead will be a ruby. I'm going to go under the next thread bridge, go around and go up the back of this ruby bead, having a hard time getting my needle under these today. Okay, don't get caught around the whole end here. Now my next bead will be a blush. Go on to the next thread bridge. Go up the back. Pull my thread through. Next bead will be a blush. Go under the next thread bridge. Go around the back. Go up that bead I just put on. Next bead will be a ruby. Go on under the next thread bridge. Go up the back. Go up that ruby bead. Next bead will be a gold. Go into the next thread bridge. Go up the back. Next bead will be a blush. Go into the next thread bridge. Go up the back. Next bead will be a ruby. Go under the next thread bridge. Go up the back. Now I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to decrease again, so I'm going to pick up a ruby and a blush. I'll go under the second thread bridge. I'm going to go up around the back and go up this blush. Now I got to straighten these up, so I'm going to go down this ruby and into this blush bead on the diagonal, up the gold bead next to the blush bead I'm coming out of, and up into the blush bead that I just added there. So I'm just going to keep doing this, decreasing until I get down here to the bottom where I'm ready to put my drop on, and then when I'm ready to put my drop on, I'll come back and show you how I do that. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm down here to the bottom. I put on my last two ruby beads at the bottom, and now I'm going to put on my drop, and this is just really easy. I'm going to pick up one of my ruby beads. I'm going to go through my drop from the skinny side first. Drop all this down. Now I'm going to pick up my little 15-0 that I've got here. I'm going to go back up my drop, back up that one ruby bead, pull that up there. Now I'm coming out the left ruby bead here. I'm going to go into the right one. Now I'm going to go around that just one more time. I'm going to go back down this ruby bead next to the one I'm coming out of, back into the ruby bead that at the tip here. And you don't want to pull this too tight, because if you do, it'll cause your drop to be bunched up. Just kind of gently pull it through there. Now I'm going to go through my 15-0 again, back up my drop, back into that one ruby bead, and then I'm going to go back into the other ruby bead from the one I started in. And pull it through and don't get caught around the drop, which it wants to do. Okay, so now I got my little drop on there. So now I'm just going to take my thread and sew up through here and crisscross back and forth until I get my thread locked in like I do, and then I'll come back and I'll show you some of the others that I've done. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my little earring done now to match the earring I already had done. Now I'm just going to put my ear wire on. I'm just going to open it up very carefully because I have broken a lot of these lever back ear wires opening them up. Close it back up. I definitely try not to open them and close them any more than I have to. So there's my little earring that I made today. Oh, I had put, I didn't notice I hadn't put an ear wire on this one that I already had made. Hold on, let me get another ear wire. Okay, now I have 2 complete earrings with ear wires on both of them. So these are the ones we made today. Now I have made another pair a whole lot like these, except there's no drop at the bottom of these. At the bottom I just put a bead on its side there at the bottom instead of a drop. So you don't have to put a drop on them if you don't want to. And then I have these that I made that are a little bit bigger with a little bit different design. Like I said, you can make these as big or as small as you want to. The bigger you go with them, though, they can get kind of floppy, or they don't want to be nice and flat. And in that case, a lot of times I will paint one side of them with clear fingernail polish and let it dry, and that will usually stiffen them up a little bit if you make larger ones. So there's all my little earrings that I've got done here with my Adornable Elements Miyuki Delicas that I got this month. I can't wait to see what I get next month. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box below to the Adornable Elements website, and that coupon code will save you 10% off the first month of whatever club or clubs you sign up for. So as always, thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I would really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.